I feel differently about police shootings than virtually everyone else in the United States of America. Certainly different than most people on the left and most people on the right. I think I'm right. I'm not sorry about how I feel about them. Whenever something happens, police shooting wise, get this, I don't take the cop's side. I don't take the guy who got shot side. I calm down, wait for the facts to come in, and judge each and every case based on the evidence I see, the video, the things people say. I don't have some desire inside of me to be a cops are the right all the time activist or a black people are oppressed and hunted down all the time activist. And I feel like that means I'm all alone because that's virtually everyone else's position and it drives me crazy. Cops, they're all different. I don't know if you know this, they're not robots. That was just a movie. Cops are actually people. They have skin and they breathe and they eat and they drink water and stuff. They're all different. There are great ones. Most of them, frankly, are. And there are really bad ones. That's just history tells you that's the case. And all people who get involved with officers are different. All circumstances are different. And I know this is going to blow you away. Sometimes when there's a bad moment where somebody dies, sometimes it's not really anybody's fault. Sometimes, and hold on, this may make you pass out. Sometimes it's not fuel for whatever movement you want to be part of. You see what I mean? When the world focused on the Derek Chauvin trial verdict yesterday, I thought the whole thing was so very bizarre. I get people caring. You want to see what kind of rioting there's going to be afterwards. You want to, I mean, look, we're all human. We all want to turn on the news and see, did Derek Chauvin cry when the verdict came in? Did he hug if it came in? Were the cities on fire? What happened? We want to see what's happening. But I just didn't care that much. I wasn't emotionally invested in any part of it, in either team that arose from it. I didn't wave pom-poms for Derek Chauvin. I frankly don't find him to be a very sympathetic figure. I don't think he got a fair trial, and I'll explain why here in a second, but I don't find him to be a sympathetic figure, and I don't find George Floyd to be the saintly God they made him out to be. I wish George Floyd didn't die. I find the whole situation to be tragic and awful, but I don't think it makes any political points for me. I don't look at it and say to myself, man, I better get a guilty verdict, or well, he better be not guilty. I didn't understand why the entire country seemed to be so emotionally invested in it. It was a local story to Minneapolis about a cop in a confrontation with someone else. One of them died. The cop got put on trial. This is not unique. This happens all the time. The whole thing got blown so far out of proportion so fast, and I didn't get it. And the next time there's another one of these, and there will be a next time, I'm going to do the same thing. I don't really get it. And I'll tell you something that sounds awfully cynical, but it is something I believe to be 100% true. How many times have I stood here in front of this camera and told you, balkanize, pack up your stuff, leave blue America, leave these urban hellholes, move to a red state, a red area of some kind, and not only do you move there and surround yourself with people who have your values, you move there and be much more active there in politics than you were. You plant yourself there and you immediately run for school board, city council, mayor, state representative. You get involved. That is the way we are going to have to conduct ourselves going forward. But why do I say that all the time? I mean, you probably just recited what I was saying to you verbatim as I was saying it to you. Why do I say it all the time? I don't believe America's cities can be saved. I believe they are currently in a death spiral, and they're not going to come out of it, at least not anytime in the near future at all. What do I mean by death spiral? Well, all these cities now are run by full-blown communists. Their mayors, their city councils, they're full-blown communists. Their DAs are full-blown communists. And these people have joined together and given groups like Black Lives Matter and Antifa free reign to terrorize, loot, burn, murder, and kill people. That's only one aspect of it. Hold on, I'm not done. Part of what they're doing also is this defund the police, blame the police movement. And while I openly acknowledge there are some very bad cops and some very bad police shoots, cops are not the problem. The cops are not the problem. And if you take that stance, what that tells me is either A, you're very, very dumb, which I doubt, or B, you're simply a person who's uncomfortable talking about the real problems. Cops are not the problem. But in the cities now, the cops are labeled the problem. So what's going to happen? Well, you're going to have fewer and fewer cops. We're already seeing that. Cities like Baltimore are already closing precincts. This is common around the country. Fewer cops, fewer good cops, as the good cops either A, retire or move to a place where they are appreciated and allowed to do their job. So now you have fewer cops in an area that needs the cops the most, in an area where the criminals are enabled, and, well, now it's a death cycle. Now you're going to have more drugs, more gangs, more violence all the time, fewer cops to address it. When the cops do address it, they're going to get in trouble again. So then there'll even be fewer cops, and then more violence and fewer cops and more violence. There's a reason it's a death spiral. There's a reason Fortune 500 companies are talking about packing up and getting out of these places. It's just not a place you can feel safe anymore. And remember, I'm not anti-city. I love cities. I love the country too. I love cities. New York City is like my favorite place in the world. New York City's gone. And man, that hurts me to say. New York City's gone. Chicago's an awesome town. Chicago's gone. That sucks. That's awful. But you and I, we don't get to live in a world of make-believe because we're not 5 years old. You and I, as adults, as people who are going to have to lead in the future, we have to accept the world in which we live. And the world in which we live means these cities are not habitable, and they're about to get worse. Not a single person responsible for the American cities rotting has looked in the mirror and said, "Ew, I probably shouldn't have done that." They're all looking in the mirror and saying, "I haven't done what I've done enough yet." That's a death spiral. Hey, thanks so much for watching the first on YouTube. If you liked what you saw, go ahead and like and subscribe. You heard me. Like it, subscribe. You'll get a lot more of it and a lot more of me. Thanks.